Bravery is an admirable quality, and the animal kingdom is full of examples of it. From ferocious beasts that have evolved into apex predators to hunt their prey, to caring mothers who will do anything to protect their young. Being fearless takes many different forms in the animal world. Welcome back to Forever Green. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 30 animals caught on camera being fearless. Before we get into it, make sure to drop a like on the video if you like this kind of content. Plus, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our hottest videos. Let's go! Honey badger. We start our list with this clip of 2 honey badgers going toe-to-toe with 7 huge lionesses. It's certainly surprising to see a pair of small honey badgers standing their ground and successfully scaring off a larger group of much more powerful predators. To say they are fearless would be an understatement. This clip was shot by a tourist in Zambia. There's no doubt that the tourist was just as shocked as we are. The bravery of these creatures, coupled with their ability to almost completely rotate in their skin, makes it very difficult for predators to predict their movement.
Look at that.
In this clip, a lioness attempts to chew up one of the honey badgers. After realizing just how tough the skin of the honey badger is, the lioness gives up, only to be lunged at and bitten on the nose by the animal she thought was retreating. This strange but useful ability is the reason this pair of honey badgers were bold enough to take on 7 lionesses. In a tight formation, their speed, flexibility, and aggression make it very risky to approach them from any angle. Unsurprisingly, the lionesses retreat and decide not to waste their energy on such a high-risk, low-reward activity. Small goat versus bull. This next clip is adorable. What appears to be a young goat is going head-to-head with a bull. The size difference between these two animals makes their confrontation difficult to take seriously. It is also obvious that the bull was just having fun and had no intention of actually hurting the goat. The few times the bull added a bit of power to its headbutts, the tiny goat was sent flying back. What makes this video so remarkable is that even though the bull could have easily crushed the goat at any moment it chose, the goat, fully aware of this, continued to charge forward. A truly fearless creature. Dog versus rooster. Roosters are often thought to be cowards, but usually they're quite fearless creatures. Roosters have been known to fight off animals much larger than them. They've been known to fight off humans. In this video, a rooster goes to war with a dog. This rooster does not know fear. The rooster is literally dog-walking this ferocious dog, which is significantly larger and has dangerous claws and fangs. Even when the dog manages to get a hold of the rooster, it doesn't show signs of fear, nor does it reduce its aggression. Instead, it fights back with increased ferocity. House cat versus lion. This clip is both hilarious and adorable. Baggy, the protagonist of this clip, challenges a lion, going head-to-head with it. Although it would be unfair to not point out that there's a cage between the two felines. It is still a display of fearlessness. The owner of both cats playfully attempts to stop the fight by negotiating with both sides. This shows that it's a common occurrence. There is no real aggression between these cats, but Baggy manages to look more intimidating than the much larger lion. Perhaps they're just squabbling, kind of like siblings. Mother bear fights off tiger. For animals in the wild, some confrontations can simply not be avoided. In this case, this sloth bear and her cub are forced to drink water from the same water source as a tiger. There are cases where 2 large animals can occupy the same space without fighting. This was not the case here. The tiger lunged at the mother bear immediately as she approached the stream, likely desperate, starving, and out of options. This mother bear proved to be courageous though. fighting through pain and fatigue to defend herself and her child. She might not have won the fight, but she certainly kept the tiger threat at bay and proved to be a formidable foe. Cat versus dogs. This fearless cat takes on a group of dogs. The dogs surround the cat and playfully attack it, probably inviting it for a game. The cat, however, is having none of it. It interprets their jibes as an insult and defends itself viciously. Though the dogs seem to be playing throughout the clip, the cat's bravery is certainly noteworthy. You have to have insane levels of confidence to take on a group of much larger and far more dangerous animals, and not just take them on, but have them on their back foot. German Shepherd versus Bear. German Shepherds are known for their intelligence, loyalty, and bravery. In this clip, we watch as a German Shepherd stands his ground when confronted by a bear. This German Shepherd doesn't even budge when the terrifying-looking bear charges at it. Luckily, the dog's owner hurls a large object at the bear, scaring it away before it can harm this loyal dog. I doubt that there are even wolves this brave. This is more evidence that domesticated creatures can be just as brave as those raised in the wild. Cat versus bear. They say it's not the size of the dog in the fight that matters, but the size of the fight in the dog. The same is true when it's a cat and a bear that's caught in a conflict. This curious bear makes its way into a private residence, perhaps deciding to do a little exploring. One thing this bear didn't expect is the ferocious predator guarding the property. We're talking, of course, about a house cat. The cat leaps in the bear's direction, catching it off guard and frightening the hell out of it. The bear ultimately runs off, leaving a victorious, adrenaline-fueled cat at the doorstep. Monkey versus fear. Fearlessness is often the outcome of desperation. This monkey's child had fallen into a pit. Though the pit itself isn't too deep, it is deep enough to trap both the monkey and her child if they both fall in. The best bet she has is to pull her child out of the pit without falling into it herself. It's a huge gamble, but this monkey is fearless and has decided to risk it all to save her child. Luckily, she manages to rescue her child from the pit, and they make it away safely. This is a great example of why fearlessness is so admirable. Goat versus tiger. Life is pretty simple. Goats eat grass, and tigers eat goats. But in this Russian zoo, a goat that was meant to be food for a tiger has surprised everyone by becoming best buddies with it. The goat and the tiger are inseparable. The former can always be seen trotting beside or closely behind its carnivorous best friend. This is an unlikely friendship, one that we don't know how long it will last. Perhaps the tiger is not yet hungry and is saving the goat for later, or it could be too tired to hunt the goat. Either way, the goat seems to have made a new friend, and it seems to be quite thrilled about this. Hedgehog versus fox. This hedgehog does not seem to be aware that foxes are dangerous predators. If not, it wouldn't be moving so close to one. It bravely marches around the space with the fox, not seeming to mind its movements or be threatened by them. The fox is no doubt perplexed at this, and probably doesn't attack the hedgehog because it's never been in such a situation before. The hedgehog continues trundling around the yard, not minding the fox, and eventually, it's joined by a friend who also doesn't seem to notice the fox. Either that or it just doesn't care. The fox is no doubt embarrassed about the whole affair. Imagine not being able to scare two hedgehogs. Duckling versus fear. Bravery manifests in diverse ways. For some animals, it may mean standing up to a much larger predator, and for others, it may mean signaling to a human for help. But in the case of these wood ducklings, bravery means taking a leap of faith from a nest that's 30 feet high. The ducklings all peep down at the great distance between their nest and their landing place. Despite the terror and anxiety they must feel, they leap successfully. Nature can be frightening, but it is always heartwarming to see examples of bravery and courage like this one. Duck versus crocodile. Sometimes, fearlessness can land you in serious trouble. This fearless duck struts boldly into a group of sunbathing crocodiles and almost loses its life in the process. At first, it seems like the duck might get away with its stupidity and pass through the crocodiles, but things escalate almost immediately. The crocodiles attempt to take a bite of the duck, and it immediately retreats. What a humbling experience! The raccoon runs in between moving cars. Another example of fearlessness not always being a good thing is this clip of a raccoon playing a game of tag with cars on a busy road. The raccoon runs in between moving cars and ducks beneath them as they dash past. It's a bit difficult to watch because one wrong step and the raccoon is gone. The clip is a little hilarious, but if the raccoon got unlucky, things would have been very bad for it. Luckily, it survived just fine, and we can watch this video and laugh. This raccoon is certainly living its best life. Rooster versus Peacock. This fearless rooster is not going to let this cocky peacock bully him. It's unclear what caused the fight, but it is very obvious who's winning.
Yeah!
The peacock tries to use its size advantage to intimidate the rooster, but the rooster fights back bravely and even appears to be the more aggressive fighter. It constantly has the peacock on its heels, forcing it to take several leaps back. It seems that some chickens are quite brave. Dogs versus thief. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them have whiskers and tiny paws. These two brave little dogs catch and hold down a thief that tries to break into their home. The thief was certainly on the lookout before jumping in, except he was likely on the lookout for humans and did not expect to be jumped by two dogs. Despite being medium-sized dogs, the fearlessness these dogs displayed certainly contributed to their success in capturing the intruder. The intruder seemed to be in a state of shock, and even when he attempted to fight the dogs off, he couldn't quite escape their grip. He chose the wrong house to break into. Honey badger versus hyenas. Another honey badger makes an appearance in this video. This time it goes up against a hyena and wins. It's clear from the start that the hyena does not stand a chance against the more aggressive honey badger. The honey badger attacks with such a wild ferocity that the hyena is completely caught off guard. It seems to be a trend in the animal kingdom that the most aggressive animal wins the fight. So despite being smaller and going up against one of the few animals that can chew through its skin, which is as tough as an old boot, the honey badger manages to walk away with victory. Bobcats versus Coyote. Sometimes fearlessness comes from extreme confidence in one's abilities. That is certainly the case with these two bobcats, who calmly fight off a coyote. These two fearless bobcats take on and defeat a coyote with relative ease, despite it being much larger. The bobcats work swiftly, showing no hint of fear or hesitation. If anything, they seem annoyed, as though they would rather not be dealing with such a nuisance. The coyote is completely outclassed and walks away defeated and humiliated. The poor coyotes can't seem to catch a break. Pitbull versus thief. Dogs are great family pets, but they're also fearsome guard dogs. Pit bulls might not be very large, but they make up for this by being aggressive. The last thing you want is to run into a pit bull that doesn't like you. Unfortunately for this home intruder, he manages to break into a house that happens to have a pet pit bull. The pit bull does not waste any time getting the takedown. One thing about pit bulls is that when they get a hold of you, they won't let go. The pit bull deals with his home intruder and stops him before he can steal anything or hurt anyone. I doubt if he'll be breaking into any houses anytime soon. Cat versus Coyote. Sometimes we have to take responsibility for the well-being of those around us. This neighborhood has been the target of frequent coyote visits, and no one seems to know what to do about this problem, except for the friendly neighborhood cat. As another coyote makes its way into the neighborhood to once again cause mayhem, this fearless cat notices it and decides to take matters into its own hands. The cat allows the coyote to approach, while it immediately attacks and chases away the coyote. Cat versus fox. Coyotes aren't the only ones who should beware of their neighborhood cat. This fox also gets chased off by a cat. Foxes are notorious for breaking into private property, and this one does it in the daytime, which in a way shows that the fox is fearless in its own right. Well, this cat isn't going to tolerate that. It very confidently chases the fox away from the premises, as though the fox isn't several times its size. It might be a tiny house cat, but it has the heart of a lion. There are so many examples of cats fighting off opponents that are much larger than they are, making me wonder if cats and honey badgers share fearlessness as a trait. Little dog versus shark. In this clip, an overexcited dog named Nessie notices something moving in the water and swims toward it. Unfortunately, that thing turns out to be a shark, and upon realizing this, Nessie's owners begin to call after her. Nessie continues to run towards the shark, making all of us panic momentarily. Though Nessie is pursuing the shark with determination, the shark, lucky for her, either doesn't notice or doesn't care. Bored and probably frustrated that she can't catch up with the shark, Nessie begins to run back towards the shore, and thankfully away from the shark. In the end, we can all breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that little Nessie got her adventure and didn't get hurt. Dogs versus deer. Dogs are man's best friend, but they don't necessarily like other creatures. In this clip, two dogs try their best to intimidate a timid-looking deer, but they fail, as the deer is completely unaffected by their theatrics. It is fearless and refuses to back down, probably doesn't even know it should. What a legend! Cute buck versus humans. Bucks are wild animals, so when they see humans, their instinct is to run and run as fast as they can. These bucks, however, don't seem to mind being around humans, which would explain why they're strolling casually through this neighborhood, completely unbothered by the humans around them. They even allowed the kids to feed them. Baby deer versus humans. This baby deer is not at all intimidated by humans. She seems very happy to have been discovered, which is very strange for a deer. She is cradled in this man's arms and is enjoying getting pampered. The men in the clip are so surprised to see such a fearless deer that they reward it with belly rubs and more pampering. It looks like being fearless pays off. Lioness versus hyenas. There are no rules in the wild, except of course that only the fittest survives. While there are well-established hierarchies in the wild, a little bravery can put you ahead of even the most powerful beasts. In this clip, a lioness is feasting on a warthog when a hyena shows up and starts to eat the warthog as well. This puts the lioness in a tricky situation. Let go of her grip on the warthog could lead to it getting stolen completely, and while lionesses are much faster than hyenas, it would still be a gamble. After attempting and failing to drag the warthog away from the hyena, she's forced to give in and share her catch. Goat versus horse. This baby goat is a brave little kid, and he wants everyone to know it. In this hilarious clip, a courageous little goat charges at a fully grown horse, who for the most part is completely unbothered by the kid's theatrics. To the horse, the whole thing is nothing but a joke, but to the kid, they're locked in a very serious duel. The baby goat continues to make weak but determined attempts to show the hero who's boss, and for the most part, the horse doesn't seem to know he's there. All is not lost, as it still proves to be entertaining for onlookers, which includes us. That's it for today on Forever Green. Which entry did you find the most fascinating on our list? Let us know in the comments section down below.